Welcome to another episode of the Hot
Seat.
Fuck, dude. I don't have it anymore. Deucer got in my head about that. He fucked me up, bro. Welcome to another episode of the Hot Seat podcast, presented to you by... You don't have to do that.
The champ. Presented to you by the champ.
Fuck the champ. Playbook Sports. I'm Anthony. To my right, I got Dookie Makua, Wilson Wayne. What's the word, Will?
We're in the building, baby. We're here to talk about the top 10 fantasy receivers of the 2024-2025 season.
Simple.
Yeah. If you looked at the other video, we covered 11 to 25. Now we got the top 10 to cover over here. Let us know what you thought about the other video. This video got some great value guys, you know. Great value guys to talk about. So if you're in fantasy, if you're in any leagues, if you're looking to draft receiver guys, definitely stay for the rest of this video because we got some great advice for you. It's going to be a good one.
Also, this is something I just thought of right now, but if you guys want advice on your fantasy teams, DM us on Twitter, on Instagram, at Playbook Sports HQ. Love chatting it up about fantasy football. Let's just kick it off, man. My number 10. Let's go with your number 10. I started the last one.
Number 10, I got Champagne Poppy, baby. Drake London. Drake London, man.
Champagne poetry.
Champagne poetry, baby. Yes, sir. This is the year, man. This is the year when he gets unleashed. Finally, he gets a quarterback that's able to throw. Kirk Cousins. Whether it's going to be Kirk or Michael Penix, it's a huge upgrade from what he's had before. I think he's a true receiver. I think now he's going to finish top 10. He didn't finish like as low as he did before in the year, so it's like there's no reason why he can't do it now, entering this season. And what do you think about that?
Okay, last year he finished as the wide receiver 42. Mm-hmm. The year before that, the wide receiver 38. If he has a year where he's like that next year, are you done? Are you off the train?
I'm done.
I'm done too.
Yeah.
Because I have him on my list too. He's coming up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like him a lot. I think like if you look at players other than maybe Pickens getting Russell Wilson instead of Pickett, like this is another huge upgrade. Them getting Kirk Cousins or Michael Penix over Ritter. Mm-hmm. Penix looked good in the preseason. Like Ritter was probably the worst starting quarterback in the NFL last year.
Yeah.
Like Falcons fans, what team is Desmond Ritter on right now? What team is Desmond Ritter on right now?
Cardinals.
Is he?
I think.
Wow.
Sure.
Are you a ball knower like that? I have no fucking clue. He is on. Yeah, he's a Cardinal, bro. Good shit.
Hey, man.
Good
That's
shit.
why we're here, baby.
We're a wholesome podcast here.
That's why the champ's here.
Okay. See, that's where it's out of line. But yeah, I mean, I hope the best for him next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that pick a lot.
Who's your number 10?
My number 10 is Marvin Harrison Jr.
Dang, I don't know why. I thought you would like put him a lot higher than that.
I wanted to, bro, but just with the information I have presented to me,
let's hear it.
We have to have him at 10. I think the Cardinals could finish with the number 1 offense next year. Marvin's the clear-cut number 1 receiver there. Kyler Murray revenge tour next year. Either you believe in Marvin Harrison Jr. or you believe in Kyler Harrison, but I believe in both of them. Kyler Harrison? Yeah, fuck it.
Oh, shit.
You know what I'm trying to say.
You said number 1 offense?
They could. Don't they have such a random-ass offense where they could just be number 1?
I mean, I'd say top 5 maybe.
Okay. Maybe personnel-wise,
yeah,
not the number 1 offense.
Okay.
But with a shit defense,
yeah,
they're going to have to put up 35 points a game, bro.
That's true.
They're going to have to put up 35 points a game to compete, and I think they could do that. Kyler, Marvin Harrison, Connor, Trey Benson, Michael Wilson, Trey McBride.
Yeah.
Like, they have dudes there that could go out there and ball.
Yeah.
Got to put him at number 10.
Greg Dortch.
The torch. The human torch. Greg Dortch. So... yeah, I mean, 10, I feel like maybe, and this is like kind of because I know he's probably somewhere higher on your list. Mm-hmm. Maybe we're too high on him.
Maybe. I was honestly thinking about it the other day. It's like so many people are so high on Marvin Harrison. It's like, what are the chances he just like completely shits the bed, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I hope not, obviously.
I hope not. Fuck, I have him in my Dynasty League. So it's like... Dude, I would be devastated.
I'll trade you a second for him.
Right now?
No.
Trades right now?
Fuck it. We ball.
But, for my number 9, I had A.J. Brown. This is
Okay.
where I had him. We talked about him on our last video, but AJ Brown, you know, he's I think there's been like probably last year a lot of times where like people have talked about like the time where Devontae Adams is gonna overcome him, but AJ Brown, he's still in his prime now, 27 years old, I believe. I think as long as he works around, this is basically the same offense as last year, honestly.
Except with Saquon. Except
So
with
it's
a
like-
real running back.
Yeah, so it's like we're only gonna see better with this offense. I think AJ Brown's still gonna produce as high as he is, so that's where I have him.
Yeah, I mean, I like AJ Brown. I'm not gonna argue with you there. I had him a little lower than you. We talked about that already. But my number 9, this is where I had Puka Nacua. Higbee's gonna be out to start the year. Cooper Kupp is regressing. Puka Nacua finishes a top 5 wide receiver in his rookie year, bro.
Yeah.
Come on, like there's too many factors that are playing into this, bro. And maybe Puka Nacua finishes as the GOAT wide receiver, bro.
Dang, Puka.
Maybe. I mean, Stafford
They-
definitely helps.
Dude, honestly, like the way like this coaching system in LA, like how they play it, bro. Like as long as they have a good system for the receivers, they can make any receiver like
Yeah.
that. They can make any receiver.
So you're saying he's a fluke?
He's not a
and
fluke.
Nacua?
No. He's still like a great receiver. Like I think if you had like other guys that are like higher on like that we have higher on this list in LA, they could be like the greatest receiver of all time, honestly.
True. AJ Brown.
Like imagine
there?
if you had like CD in LA.
That's 2K.
Dude, that's
CD
2K. That's 2K every
Michael
year.
Pittman Jr., bro, in LA. MP2K.
That's 3K.
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk. Damn.
He would eat there.
Christian Kirk would eat there.
But
But that's like a slot receiver type of offense.
if you're a slot receiver and you don't get a contract you want, go play
Go
a
to
season in
LA.
LA.
Go to LA, man.
Go take a minimum play in LA, and then the next year they'll pay you 40 bands to go play somewhere,
sure.
bro. CeeDee Lamb, you don't think the Cowboys paying you enough? They'll spend a season in LA, brother.
Go to LA.
Season in LA, they'll pay you enough. I
Go
promise
check
you
out
that.
SoFi.
Once they see you hit 2,100 yards,
Everyone's gonna want to pay you, man.
they're gonna want to offer you the bag.
Yeah. You say your number 9 already?
Yeah, Puka.
Puka? Alright. Number 8. I got my twin, Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson Wang.
Yes, sir. I mean, we talked about him before in the last video. Garrett Wilson, I'm pretty high on him, honestly. I think I'm higher on him than you are.
Overrated.
I think he's fine, man. He's gonna play with the GOAT Aaron Rodgers now. Well, not the actual GOAT, but like one of the GOATs, you know.
Yeah.
And also like all the different kind of supporting casts he has around him. I think he's gonna be able to perform. I think you know, he's all of his career he's played with Zach Wilson basically, and now he gets like a great
Tim
quarterback.
Boyle.
Tim Boyle.
Respect him.
Mike White.
Mike White, the GOAT.
Mike White was solid at his time.
400-yard game, Mike White.
Yeah, definitely. But Garrett Wilson, I think now like he's gonna go off. He's gonna go off this season.
What's
Next
going
season.
off though?
What's going on?
Like, what do you project?
I think he projects. I could see him getting like 1,200 yards.
1,200.
1,200 yards. How many touchdowns did he get last season?
3.
3? More than that. Probably double that
6.
at least.
I don't know if that finishes him in the wide receiver
I think
8 spot.
maybe like 8, 9, 10 touchdowns.
Like Ayuk last year. 8, 9, 10. What the fuck? Ayuk last year was top 10 with 1,400 receiving yards.
How many touchdowns did he get?
I think his touchdowns were a little lower.
Yeah, I mean, I know touchdowns are pretty big. Obviously, they get you like those points, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm calculating it wrong because I know nowadays it's like all these receivers are so good in the league. It's like what seemed good probably like 3, 4, 5 years ago was probably like pretty bad now. It's
Yeah,
like,
unless you're Calvin Johnson.
unless you're Calvin Johnson.
But like Ayuk last year finished with 1,340 yards, 7 touchdowns.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah,
Like-
I think he has a better season than that.
Really? I can't see him having a better season than that.
Really?
I don't think he'll hit this fantasy mark, 174 points. I don't think he'll hit that next year.
I think he's got it.
I would take the under.
Take the under.
I would take the under on that.
I'm gonna have to bet on you on that.
If you want to. If you
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see about
We'll
that.
see after week 1.
We'll see.
My number 8, this is where I had Drake London.
Drake London.
These are all the quarterbacks that have thrown to Drake London. Can you guess them?
Desmond Ritter.
Yeah.
Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, one more.
Matt Ryan.
No.
On his last year.
Kind of an old guy, cool when we were in like a freshman in high school. One of my
Cool.
favorite players when we were freshmen in high school, actually.
One of your favorite players.
And I didn't really watch football like that, but a Madden GOAT quarterback.
Marcus Mariota.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
That's a ridiculous list to have a receiver this good.
Yeah.
To have even Pitts, like, for you to draft those two guys so high, and these are the guys you provide them with.
Yeah.
He led his team in yards last year with 900 yards.
That's so sad, bro. That's so sad.
And the number 2 was Pitts, and Pitts didn't even hit 700. So it's not even like it was like a close, like, 2 900 yards receivers or something like that.
Yeah.
Last year, the Falcons had the number 26 ranked offense in the NFL, number 25 in pass attempts, number 28 in completions, number 22 in passing yards.
Yeah.
So it's just like, bro, they cannot sling the ball. Like, your quarterback's Desmond Ritter, and I get it. But, I mean, you have Drake London and Kyle Pitts there, and those are the stats you're putting up. Like, that's ridiculous to me.
No, I know. I'm sure they're so happy now with the arrival of Kirk and Penix.
They
I'm sure
gotta
they're so
be.
happy, man.
Since 2015, Kirk Cousins has finished outside the top 12 fantasy quarterbacks twice, and they were both pre-Justin Jefferson. So I think, like, Kirk's going to give him a big fantasy year. He's
Yeah.
just going to, unless that injury really fucked him up. But then I do trust Penix as well. I think Drake London's a better receiver than Garrett Wilson. So that's kind of why I put him there.
I think you could pretty much debate between those two.
Yeah.
So definitely, I think the Falcons, like, they're really trying to get the ball this year, man. They traded for Matthew Judon. They just signed Justin Simmons.
Yeah, they're
They're
stacked.
really ranking that defense while having a pretty electric offense already. It's
Yeah.
going to come into the season, so I'm excited
Sneaky
for them.
Super Bowl team?
Could be sneaky.
Sneaky Super Bowl
Could be
team?
sneaky.
I wonder what their over-under is. What do you think it is?
I think they'll have a great regular season.
Yeah?
I think they'll have a great one. So
What would you take their over-under on? Like, if it was 9.5, would you take the over?
Yeah.
11?
11? Yeah, I think so. I'd have to look at the schedule again, but
12?
12 might be cutting it. 12
12
might
and a
be.
half is kind of crazy, yeah. I can't
Yeah.
find it right now.
Yeah.
Wait, here. Yeah, 9.5, dude. Like, I would eat that alive.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know when this was, though. But, yeah. I mean, it's pretty wild. Yeah, I got him at 8. What's your 7?
7 got your boy Marvin Harrison.
Okay.
That's where I got Marvin. I think he's a prodigy, man. Coming to Arizona, clear cut receiver 1. Kyler's gonna feed him, man. I think people forget how good Kyler was.
Dude,
and Kyler
yes.
still is. I think like he's gonna get the rock.
He's gonna.
Yeah.
I agree with you there 100%. Yeah, I mean, I'll just go to my 7 then, I guess. I'm getting a little spicy here, okay? Next couple ones, don't hate me.
All right.
But my number 7, I have George Pickens.
George Pickens? Honestly, not mad at that, bro.
Okay.
I really think he could get a great season. I just have him a little bit lower just because of, like, I don't really know, like, if Russ is still going to be the same and all that. But I know he's a really talented receiver.
I think he's one of the best receivers in the league, just as a receiver.
In the league?
Like, not like one of the best as in top 5, but like top 10. I put him in that lower half of that top 10. You got Russ and Justin Fields there. Okay, Russ looked bad in the preseason. Everyone's scared. But Russ takes time to ramp up. He didn't have a 3-touchdown game until the last 5 games of his Broncos stint in the first season. And then if Russ can't do it, Justin Fields last year finished with the wide receiver 6 on his team. So one of those guys is going to be able to get on the ball. Not to mention having like Roman Wilson there. It's not going to be all Pickens this year. And yeah, I mean, I kind of talked about it last video, but both those quarterbacks had like what people call bad seasons. But I can't blame those seasons just on those quarterbacks alone. I feel like the coaches on both those teams were really bad. And the way the teams were ran were really bad. I mean, the Broncos, you could attest to this, bro. That fucking bye week making Russell Wilson sign his deal bullshit was so dumb. And that really derailed that entire team. And then the Bears, bro. Like, do I have to say anything? It's the fucking Bears. They sell this shit every year. Yeah. So, George Pickens finishes the wide receiver 30 last year, 23 the year before that. I think his ceiling this year is top 6. His floor is top 15. Realistic?
Yeah, I mean, I had Pickens like 16 or something like that, so I think it could be realistic.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really hoping for the best for Pickens. So I really like him. So
I love that we love the same dudes this year.
I know we just know ball, man.
We just know ball.
We just know ball. Number 6 though, this is where I had Mike Evans.
Okay. Jeez, dude.
I remember, and I do have to apologize. I wasn't really always high on Mike Evans, but I think, he is obviously getting older in Tampa Bay, but he's still like that guy. He's still gonna be that guy, that star receiver. Baker is there. He's had his revival year. He's still gonna be throwing him that rock. I'm not really worried about the other guys. I think within the next 3 years, then we're going to see guys like McMillan, Trey Palmer come in and kind of take over that share. I'm not really worried about that right now. I'm not worried about Chris Godwin either. Kate Otten, I'm not worried about them. But I think Mike Evans, I think he still has a year or two to get it done. Have a great season. He's had a consistent 1,000-yard years or 1,000-yard seasons in it was 7-8 consecutive seasons. So
I think almost 10, dude.
10.
I think almost
He's been
10.
in the league, for a decade, man. So it's we already know what we're gonna getting out of him.
Yeah, I mean, I think Mike Evans is definitely a safe option.
Mm-hmm.
My problem with him is I don't think he has a high ceiling. I don't think he'll finish top 5. That's just me.
Yeah.
But I think he is definitely just safe, and I think Baker found a home. We've talked about that before in Tampa Bay. So next year, it'll be a little bit more, less like Baker's playing for a job, more like Baker's playing to win. And I think Mike Evans getting touches leads to that.
Yeah.
My number 6, this is where I had DJ Moore.
Jeez.
You could say, geez, bro, but he finishes the wide receiver 6 last year.
Yeah, but he had no one last year.
But now he's playing with a better quarterback. A more accurate quarterback for sure. A better running back, so they're going to be going against heavier formations. Their O-line was bad last year, but they're young. They're going to develop. Keenan Allen has looked bad and fat, and they paid him like a wide receiver 1. And I think he could finish as the wide receiver 1 this year. Legit in the league. I think he could finish as the fantasy wide receiver 1.
That's crazy to say. I don't know about all that, man.
I wouldn't bet on it. I have 5 dudes that I think are more likely to do it.
Yeah.
But if by next year DJ Moore's the fantasy wide receiver 1, I'm not shocked. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Sheesh. I think I'm buzzing that. So
You air buzz?
Yeah, but honestly,
he had a great year last year, bro.
He did, but he's just the team is so much different now.
So much built for him though, bro.
I think he's just built for the offense in general.
1,300 yards last year. I don't see that going down. If anything, that goes up. 8 touchdowns last year. What other bear are you looking for in the red zone?
A lot of guys.
Over DJ Moore?
I mean, it's a lot of options, man. You got Swift.
I'm saying over DJ Moore.
Over DJ Moore? Is he the first option?
He's the first option.
Receiving wise, yeah.
Right, I'm talking the team, Will. Don't go around this question. You're at the 15.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's going to be the first look, but it's you're not going to go to that guy every time.
Obviously, he's not going to get 100 touchdowns.
Yeah.
But he had 8 last year. Would you be surprised if that number went to 11? Surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know.
So if he had 13, let's say he has 14, 50, and 11 touchdowns, that's I think that's a ceiling for him. I'm feeling DJ Moore next year, bro. I think for his fantasy value, I think you could legitimately get a top 12 dude in the 3rd round.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's really a debate. I think he's a clear-cut top 12 dude to me. And we'll have this discussions because me and Will are co-running a fantasy team this year.
We're co-running one, baby.
So we're going to be in the room arguing.
Yes, sir.
But I believe in DJ Moore.
Fighting.
On the call. They're going to cut to us.
No, for sure. I mean, yeah.
Top 5 is next. And I think the 5 players I feel are clear-cut.
Clear cut?
Right?
I think so.
I
think we should have the same 5.
These are the 5, okay?
Yeah.
And I'm doing this off the top of my head, but I feel like it's obvious.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson and Jamar and Amon-Ra, CD and Tyreek.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. If that's not your top 5 at home, bro, stop smoking.
Dude, you're not watching football at that point.
You're not watching football. Who's your number 5, Will?
5, I got Jefferson.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's honestly, dude, it's really the quarterback situation, right? It's like it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough. You got Sam Darnold throwing to you now. There were reports saying I think they were gonna try to get like Derek Carr, right?
Yeah, but I think it's done.
I think it's done. So it's like they're really gonna have to just roll out with Darnold now. I think out of all these receivers, he's definitely the worst quarterback that he's gonna be. These receivers are gonna be getting the ball from. So it's like Jefferson, he's still that raw receiver, still gonna be good, but it's like there's only so much you could do when you have someone throwing to the ball. So I have my 5.
All right, I respect it. My number 5, and before I go into this, I don't want to hear no comments saying like, this guy is gonna finish number 1 because blah blah blah. Like, I'm not saying that my number 5 can't finish number 1. I'm not saying my number 4 can't finish number 1. I believe in this guy to be number 1. I wouldn't be surprised at all because my number 5 is Tyreek Hill, a dude who broke so many records last year. A dude playing with Tua. My only problem with him, bro, is when you look at these other 5 guys, it's his age. It's his competition. Jalen Waddle, I think, like, maybe he won't overtake him this year, but I think he'll close the gap a lot this year. A-Chain and Raheem take touchdowns from Tyreek. There's just a lot of, like, other factors on this team that scare me a little bit. And, yeah, he had 1,700 yards last year. And, yeah, he was great. I mean, I know everyone wants to talk about CD, but Tyreek was the best receiver in the NFL last year. And I don't think there's really a question about that. But there's just too many other things that play in Miami that could end up hurting him.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think you said it the best. I mean, there's a lot going on in the offense. It's like there's so many people to go to, so many different options. If he's like covered, and you got like 6 like other options to go to basically. So, like you said, like it's like all 5 of these guys, they have the potential of finishing number 1.
Yes.
We just put it ranked on this list, thinking like what we were gonna see within the next season.
True.
So, but for my number 4, I had Jamar.
Okay.
Jamar Chase. Obviously, he's getting Burrow back, so that's great for him. But he's a great receiver too. Like obviously, we've already seen like what he's done in the past. T Higgins is still there, which is going to draw some targets still. I don't think either of us had Higgins on the top 25.
No, he's overrated, I think.
Really?
I think so. I mean, maybe not this year, but last year I think he was definitely overrated because everyone was saying, this wide receiver 2 is the guy that's going to win you your fantasy league.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. I think T Higgins is still all right. I think he's still, like you said, like, not that, like, underrated guy that's going to, like, finish, like, top, like, 25. But I think Jamar Chase is still that guy in Cincinnati. And, but I wouldn't put him over any of these other guys that I had.
No, I wouldn't either. I mean, I would, obviously, sorry. But my number 4, I was thinking about him because I think out of all the top 5, I think Matthew Berry put this the best. I was watching his podcast before we recorded. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I think out of the top 5 guys is the safest to have like a 1,400-yard season.
For sure.
I just don't think he's going to be like a... I don't know how... I just don't think has number 1 potential. I mean, he does, but not like as much as a Tyreek, as a Jefferson, as a Jamar, as a CD. But the Lions lost their wide receiver 2 last year. As much as I love Jameson Williams, like that actually matters. And Josh Reynolds, Laporta had a big year, but I don't think he's gonna have 10 touchdowns again. I think Amon-Ra definitely could do that. Goff proved it; he's legit. And then Gibbs and David Montgomery obviously are gonna take touchdowns from Amon-Ra. So I think he definitely could have another 1,500-yard season. I think he'll finish with like 6-7 touchdowns. I think the Lions know that their defense needs to improve. And with that, their run game needs to kind of rest their defense a little bit more. So, Amon-Ra is my number 4.
Okay, that's respectable. Actually, I'm at the number 3.
Okay.
So, like you said, it's like they lose Josh Reynolds. They lost a couple other guys too. But when your receivers too is Jameson Williams, it's like you're pretty much the clear-cut receiver one. So, like, a lot of the focus is going to be on you. See, it's either going to be on him or, like, Sam Laporta, obviously, on the receiving side. Like, also they have David Montgomery and, like, Jameer Gibbs in the backfield. But it's, like, there's so much, like, attention on Amon-Ra. So, it's, like, obviously he's still going to have a great season. And like you said, I think he's the safest option out of all these guys. But I'm at number 3.
So. I'm not mad at it. My number 3, this is where I had CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee?
He finishes the wide receiver 1 last year, wide receiver 6 the year before.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest problem with CeeDee is there's just so many questions about Dak's contract, about his contract. There's just too much kind of going on there. I think out of like competition-wise, he definitely has the least competition there. They don't really have a real running back 1. They don't really have a real wide receiver 2. So he could definitely replicate last season. But I just like the other 2. Honestly, that's main. The other stuff is kind of bullshit. I just like the other 2 guys a little more than him.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay, interesting. So comes down to our top 2, huh?
So your top 2, wait.
So you have Jefferson and Chase in your top 2.
And then you have Hill and CeeDee. Okay.
Are we going number 2 first or number 1 first?
Let's go number 2 first. Let's talk about our number 2
first. All right. Number 2, I got the Hill.
Okay.
I got the Hill, man. And it's funny because it's like I'm really going on the opposite than I was like a year ago. I feel like a year ago I wouldn't say
you wouldn't take the old dude.
I wouldn't take any of these old guys, you know.
Yeah.
But Tyreek has proven me wrong so many times. Same thing as Derrick Henry. So it's like, and it all comes with like experience and like looking at all these guys and like time. But Tyreek, he's just not human, man.
He's a freak, dude.
Dude, he's a freaking
Cheetah.
nature. Cheetah, man. That's the reason why they call him that. And I think he's gonna do it again, honestly. I think probably 2 years from now is then we'll see like a crazy regression. But like now, I think he's still gonna be that guy, honestly.
Shout out to homie Isaiah. He always says he got to get Tyreek Hill because Tyreek got too many kids. He's got to feed them kids, boy.
Nah, he really does, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not mad at Tyreek there again. Like, he has wide receiver 1 potential. But my number 2, this is where I have Jamar Chase.
Yeah, you're high on him, man.
Yes. I mean, his last healthy year, he was the wide receiver 3. So, he hasn't had a healthy year. And in that, I mean, last year, Burrow was hurt. The year before that, he was hurt. In 2022, he finished as the wide receiver 12, and he only played 12 games.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that is fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's simple, bro. That's just, like, I think the Bengals, I didn't believe in them last year. I thought they were overhyped. The year before, I thought they were overhyped, too. This year, though, I think they're going to have, like, a revenge tour type of season. Because
Bengals.
the Super Bowl run, as great as it was, this might be a hot take, it was kind of fluky. And it's like they almost lost to the Raiders in the first round.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it was cool, it was fun. I had a good time watching it and all that. But I think this is the year, like this is where their real championship window starts. Where like you have a Chase Brown going into a big year kind of for him. You have a Jamar Chase, you have a Joe Burrow. You have like these dudes, their defense definitely needs some work for them to be legit contenders. But as far as like their core goes, this is the year where they got to start like locking in. And absolutely. I think Jamar definitely has the number 2 chance at being the wide receiver 1. Your wide receiver 1's obviously CeeDee Lamb.
CeeDee Lamb, baby.
Let's hear it.
CeeDee Lamb, I mean, there's always that concern of him, you know, if he's going to, like, sit out with his, like, contract and stuff like that. But I recently read this article on TikTok. I actually saw it on TikTok. And it's like every week he sits out, he's going to lose, like, $1 million, right?
Uh-huh.
So it's, like, obviously, like, he's, like, not going to want to lose that money for, like, not playing for his team. And it's like also the Cowboys are going to lose money too. So it's like a lose-lose situation, you know. And I feel like CeeDee Lamb, and I've talked about him before too. And I think last year he finished as a receiver 1 too,
yes.
right? So it's like I think he could do it again. I think he's at a crazy time of his career, where like he's gonna outperform all these other receivers. Obviously, they lost a couple other guys too on the receiving end, but CD he's just that guy, you know.
I'm not even mad at it, dude.
Yeah.
So you think he's gonna be the wide receiver 1? You think he has a better year than last year?
Yeah. And he had a really good year.
1750 and 12 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Maybe not like as like not like a lot better of a year, but I think he has like a better year.
1813.
1800. Yeah, 1800, 1900. But I wouldn't be surprised if he has 2K.
2K?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't either. He was so good last year, especially if he plays every game. And Dak is like, as much as I shit on Dak in the playoffs, he's such a good regular season quarterback.
Yeah.
My number 1 though is Justin Jefferson.
That's kind of crazy though.
It is. Let
me hear it though.
I wanted to have Jamar here so bad.
Yeah.
You know I did. I took Jamar before Justin Jefferson in our Dynasty League. But after doing more research, bro, it's just so hard to not have this dude as, like, the guy, you know? Like, you could have your quarterback concerns, but last year, he played 10 games, and his quarterbacks were Josh Dobbs, Nick Mullins, Jaron Hall. Mm-hmm. If he played 17 games with, like, on track for what he did last year, right?
Yeah.
He would have had 1825 yards, which is more yards than he had in his wide receiver 1 season. And this isn't even taking out, like, games where he was on snap count and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He would have had 1825, 9 touchdowns, which is more than his wide receiver 1 season, on 115 receptions, which is less than his wide receiver 1 season. Like, that is ridiculous to me.
That is true.
CD was great last year. I don't want to discount CD's year last year.
Yeah.
But the wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 were both hurt. Or had situations that qualify them as, like, hurt, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I just think the range of outcomes for Justin Jefferson, like, the what-ifs that play in your head when you're picking number 1, it's like, oh, like, what if his quarterback gets hurt? Well, last season, he didn't have a really starting quarterback, and if he played 17 games, he would have broken so many fucking records.
Yeah.
If he gets hurt, like, you could say that about anyone, obviously. And then, like, oh, like, what if Jordan Addison breaks out? Well, Jefferson's rookie year, in his rookie year, he had 1,400 yards with Adam Thielen there. So there's just, like, if I'm trying to argue against CD, like, what if he sits out? Like, you're fucked. There's no, like, great side to that coin. What if Dak sits out? You're fucked.
Yeah.
You know, like, you could do this with any player. With Jefferson, there's not a what if other than injuries that would scare me. Yeah. And he's just, like, he's the best receiver in the league, bro. Don't overthink it. You believe CD's a better receiver than Jefferson?
No.
He's the best in the league, bro.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have a fucking quarterback.
That's true.
So, like, those situations can only get better, I feel like. Like, if they pick up a quarterback, then he's going for 2K next year. 2K? I'm sorry. And he's Darnold will sling the ball. He'll sling it, boy.
Yeah. So,
that's my take. They don't have a running back next year.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they have Aaron Jones, but he's like, what, 35, 34? Old-ass Aaron Jones. Ty Chandler.
Yeah. No, like, for sure. I mean, yeah, I think people forget, like, how, like, Justin Jefferson had 1,000-yard season in just 10 games.
In 10 games with no quarterback.
Yeah.
With nobody, bro.
So, it is kind of crazy to think about that.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, when healthy, man, he's a monster. He's a beast. So, it's like
Jamar.
Can't discredit that.
Joe Burrow was hurt, and Jamar had a down year, obviously. If Kirk isn't there, or J.J. McCarthy, or whoever you think is the, like, real quarterback there, like, Justin Jefferson, still 18, 25, and 9 touchdowns, bro, is probably the wide receiver, like, 2 last year. I don't know the numbers between him and CD, but I think the touchdowns probably put CD over him. But a fucking hurt year, bro, with snap counts, all that shit.
Yeah. It's
just ridiculous to me. I think in the last 4 games Justin Jefferson had like 450 yards or something like that. Like, there's just, this man can't do no wrong, bro. Like, there's nothing that, like, I don't think I could get talked out of this. I think if I had the number 1 pick in fantasy, I would take Justin Jefferson at this point. Yeah.
Honestly, that's not bad though, because it's like, you've already said it. It's like Justin Jefferson, like, he's already proven, you know, in the past few years, and yeah, he's the number one guy, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, him, it's really either over him or CD to me, honestly. Even though I have him, like, so low with Sam Darnold, like, throwing to him, it's like, you can really, like, pick any of those 5 guys, that we mentioned.
Yeah, they're all safe, bro. But let us know who your wide receiver 1 is at home. Comment down below if you had someone different in your top 5, if you had a different wide receiver 1 than either of us. But most importantly,
don't forget to run the play.
Run it.